So in a nutshell, when I ask people how many know what a commissioner does, if I have a room of 10, I may get one hand that goes up. Because in school, you really don't talk about government at the local level. You talk about government at the federal level and at the state level. But what a commissioner does, I compare it to two things. One, if you compare it to the state and federal government, we're both the executive and legislative branch together. Now, we don't enact laws here, but ordinances we do that affect the county. So we're the executive and legislative level to a certain degree if you compare it to the state and federal level. The other thing you have to look at is, as county commissioners, we run the county. So we are not a legislator. We do not legislate. We run the county. So Berks County has about 2,100 employees and a budget of about $650 million. So we run a $650 million company, and we make the day-to-day decisions that are going to affect county government. We're a board of 3 commissioners. We all run for 4-year terms, and we all run at the same time, so we're not staggered. So technically, every 4 years, you could have a new board of commissioners in the county. So one of the things is fiscal responsibility. When I was running for office, my number one priority was fiscal responsibility, and it continues to be fiscal responsibility because unlike a business where you generate money through the sales, counties generate their money primarily through property taxes. So I need to make sure that we are being fiscally responsible with taxpayer dollars. So that's my first job number one, and my commitment to the residents of Berks County is to be fiscally responsible with their money. Does that mean never going to raise taxes? No. Costs have gone up. Things we have to do, things that need to get done to be able to make sure the county is running properly. But fiscal responsibility is the key priority for what I want to do. Another thing that we do, which is very important, it's every year here in Pennsylvania, is we run elections as well. So we prepare for the election, we run election day, we make sure that everything is done post-election as well. So those are two things that are key to what I do here. So that's very important. We need to make sure that the younger generation is involved in elections. Every time I've been given the opportunity to go out and speak to a group, that's my message. Last year, I had the opportunity to speak to a group of people who just became United States citizens when they got their certificate, and there was about 30-something in that group. About 75 of them were Dominican. But part of my message there was, you need to get out and vote. You need to be involved in the community because you are the community. You need to get out there. So that's a message that everywhere I go and have the opportunity, it's a message that I share. I do a radio show twice a month in Spanish in one of the radio stations here. And that's a topic that I hit on a few times a year around the elections. It's important. I tell people it's important. You need to get out. You need to get engaged. A lot of times people, when they think about elections, they think about the federal level or the state level, but there's a lot more than that. There's the local level. You have, in Reading, you have city council, you have the school districts. So there's a lot of things you can get involved in politically as well. And maybe you may not want to run for office, but if you don't want to run for office, that's fine, but get involved anyway. Help a candidate, someone that you know, someone that you believe in, and work on their campaign so that you know that someone that has the same values that you do can possibly get in office to help push your values forward. So I was born in Pottstown. My father's Puerto Rican, my mother's Pennsylvania Dutch. My father was born and raised in Puerto Rico in San Juan. It's called Puerta de Tierra. He was born and raised there. He came up when he was 19, 20 years old. Met my mother here in Pennsylvania. I was born here, and when I was 6, and that was in 1975, we moved down to Puerto Rico. So I grew up there, went to school there, went to college, got married down there, and then moved back up to the United States in 1996. So very interesting growing up, seeing the way my family in Puerto Rico interacted. My brother and I would come up for many years over summer to spend time with my family up here in Pennsylvania. My grandfather was a Mennonite pastor for over 40 years. So very interesting to see the difference between the Puerto Rican culture and the Mennonite culture here. I grabbed what I felt was best from both of those, and that's what makes me who I am today. Learning from my father what was important from him, his family values, my mother what was important for her and for her family values, and that's made me who I am today. When I had the opportunity to run for commissioner, I have a background in business and in banking and finance, so I said, you know what? Running a county, I think it's important to have that background, that business background, that finance background. So when I was asked, would you run? I said, let me pray, let me think about it, let me talk with my family about it. And they said, go for it. So here I am. So for me, one thing is making a language the official language of the country. The other thing is what I do in the privacy of my home and how I see the importance and the value of learning a second language. As I mentioned before, I grew up, I was born here in Pennsylvania. Although my father grew up in Puerto Rico, his English was very limited and broken. They taught me no Spanish to my brother and I. They taught us no Spanish while we lived here. So when we moved to Puerto Rico, when we were 6 years old, we spoke English, no Spanish. Hardly anyone down there spoke any English. So we had to learn that language. They never taught us any Pennsylvania Dutch either. But for us, we've taught that language to our family. So for me, it's important to, no matter what the official language of a country is, we need to continue with our culture because that makes us who we are. That makes me who I am. And the different cultures here in the United States is what makes the United States what the United States is. So if the official language wants to be English, that's fine. But I think people should still continue to keep their language and to continue with their culture. There's no one culture that's better than the other culture. We're just different. So I can't say, you know what, I'm going to forget about what I lived and learned in Puerto Rico because now I'm in the United States. No, I have to bring what I learned there, bring it here to help make my community and my society better because there's things that we can learn from everyone. And that's something we have to do. We have to integrate. But something I do feel very strongly about, and I understand if you're older, you're retired, it's very hard to learn a language. But like I said, when I moved to Puerto Rico, I didn't know any Spanish. I had to learn Spanish. When people come here, I feel they should learn English. Not because I say you're here, you have to learn English, but if you want to grow professionally, if you want to grow financially, if you want to have a better job, a better career, better opportunities, you have to learn the language and you have to dominate the language. So it's important for people that come here to learn the language, to be able to grow and provide better for their families.